Hi folks, I'm the Bald Guy, and these are Bald Guy Basics. I'm still in July here, and what is today? Today's the 6th, I think. Too hot to be outside. It's hot. It's like being in a sauna. But I was able to do something that I think will be interesting for some of you. Now, if you are rural enough that you can raise your own garden, there's not much that I can probably tell you that you don't already know. However, cleaning up my table here, there is something that in almost every location you can benefit from. I don't need to describe to you the benefit of eating fresh raised foods. If you want to get healthier, shop around the edge of the store. That is, shop around where the fresh produce is, the fresh cut meat, and then on the stores where we are, then the frozen goods. Stay away from the canned stuff as much as possible. But as I was out and about this morning, I came by our local little country store, and out front was a pickup, and I knew what that meant. I knew that pickup with the tailgate down, and it's got a camper shell, and the camper shell was popped up. Somebody had been to the cornfields. So I stopped and got me a couple of dozen ears of corn. Now, just think about this. If you buy those little packs with 4 ears of corn in it, I haven't priced those this morning, but you're talking $4, $5, $6 for just, and I call them half ears. So I got a couple of dozen ears of corn at 50 cents an ear. And if you're wondering how can you process corn, and how can you preserve corn so that it's good for the remainder of this year, and yes, for another year to come. I get all sorts of written opinions about how long food can last in the freezer. Well, I'm here to tell you, I've eaten frozen corn after 2 and even into the 3rd year and had no problem whatsoever. Now, my problem this morning is that I've already done my processing. I didn't even think about doing a video until I just finished, and I realized some of you might be in an area where you're just not accustomed to this. So what I have here is I love white corn. White corn, yellow corn, or other varieties of corn, it doesn't matter. Shuck your corn. You're going to need a couple of basic tools. You're going to need a bucket of a container of some kind. I like to have a large knife, and this is a knife I actually made the handle myself, bought the metal and shaped it and made the knife, and it's pretty sharp, as the band-aid on my finger will attest. But basically, the first thing you do is shuck your corn. I don't have a video showing you how to shuck corn. Start at the top, you end at the bottom, and you end up with all the corn silks. So the first thing I'll do usually is just take my knife, knock the tip end of the corn off, because that's usually where you're going to have a corn worm, and you're going to have some decay. By the way, if you don't like dealing with a lot of bugs and decay in your corn, always get early corn. The later in the year you get your corn, the more bugs you're going to have. That's interesting. But when you pull the silts off, any brush will do. Mom used to have a nylon bristle brush that was just for corn silting. Well, I couldn't find one, so I go to the dollar store and I found a soft bristle brush. All you really need to do is, once you've shucked the corn and got any bad spots cut out of it and cut the end of it off, dunk it in a bottle of water, and a bucket of water. And yes, you should have pulled your silts off, but they hang on like fly paper. And you just take your brush, and there in your bucket of water, clean bucket of course, just brush the silts off, and you're 99% done when you've done that. Well, when you are done with that process, I rinse them one more time just to get anything that landed in the water and then stuck to them. I bring them in and lay them out on a paper towel for just a minute or two, long enough for the water to drain off of it. And I get gallon-sized freezer bags, Ziploc freezer bags. I label the month and the year. I put 6 ears to a bag. That's enough for a nice family dinner if we have company. If it's just the wife and I, we do half a bag at a time. I eat 2 ears of corn, she eats 1. So put these in the freezer now. Put them in the freezer, and once they freeze, they will keep. As I said, I've eaten them into the 2 full years later and a half of nuts, so 2.5 years later, and had no problem. At times you'll see a little frost get on them. People say, well, that's freezer burn. It doesn't matter. Drop it in a pot of hot boiling water, let it cook for 8 minutes, 10 minutes, and you have the most succulent treat year-round. And I love my fresh produce in the summer, but I especially love it in the off-season when it's so expensive at the store. So here's a nice way that all you need to do is to find, in any city, you're going to find a farmer's market of some kind, or a local farmer who sets up in the parking lot of the grocery store or the country store or something. And I know that in the stores, I'm talking about the produce type stores that have to pay a rent. Right now, corn is $1 an ear. I just cut this in half, and I got exactly what I wanted, and it is beautiful, and we will enjoy this. So I got 2 dozen ears put away here, and just 4 freezer bags. So the freezer bags are pretty economical too. So it's a good way to improve your nutrition, to improve the economy of what you're doing. Yes, it is predicated on the idea that you've got some freezer space somewhere. Our main freezer upstairs, we have a refrigerator on top, freezer on the bottom, and that has usually frozen goods that we buy at the store. That get, frozen vegetables, that kind of thing. Downstairs, we've got an old fridge that we replaced. Still works though, and we use the freezer in that to maintain things like this, and it works wonderfully. So a little chest freezer will go a long way in really improving your nutrition and economy as well. It's one of the things we do, and it's great to be inside when it's 95 degrees outside. I'm the Bald Guy. Hope you'll hit a like. Hope you'll subscribe. If you have gardening tips or nutrition tips like that, don't be afraid to leave them in the comments, and we'll see you on the next video.